Good morning or afternoon. In this video, we are going to be looking at slope and how to find slope between points on a graph. Just giving me a second there to focus in. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in so we can see number one. So we know that we need at least two set of points to find slope. So on this particular graph, I'm going to look at 2 points that I can read. Okay, so 1 point that I can see on this graph is negative 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 1. And 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you could have used another set of points if you would have liked to. However, those are just the 2 points that I decided to choose. And I think that's the only two that is like that we can read without it being a fraction on this particular graph. Okay, so let's recall that slope is a rise over run or a rise up, run out. So rise over run. Okay, so I'm going to go up and I'm going to go over, rise up, run out between those 2 points, and then I'm going to count my squares. 1, 2, 3 was the rise. And then the run was 1, 2, 3, 4. So over 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope is 3 over 4. This cannot simplify any further. I'm going to leave it as a rise over run in this particular case. Okay, this does not need to be changed into a decimal. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. I also need to find 2 points. I'm going to zoom in just so it gets a little bit bigger for you guys. And you can see on the video. Okay, give it a moment to clear and focus. Okay, so there are tons of points that I can use on this graph, and I'm getting a point like I can read it. Like, for example, this point right here is in the middle of the square, and I'm 1.5 maybe. So we're going to choose points that we can read. So this one would be 1, 2. Okay, and let's just say I'm going to use the point 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, maybe. Was it 1, 2? Yes, over 1, up 2, and then 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's use the point 3, 4. Okay, so those are the 2 points that I decided to use, and now we need to find the slope, which is rising. I'm going to rise, and then I am going to run. Okay, so as I rise up, I rose 2, and I ran 2. So again, I'm going to put the rise over the run, and my rise was 2. The run was 2, and so this time I need to simplify that. So 2 over 2, you can leave as 2 over 2, but this is also 1. So up 1 over 1 would have also given you the exact same slope. Like if I went up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, I would hit the same points. Okay, now let's take a look at number 3. Okay, same concept. I need a rise over run. So rise over the run. Now to do that, I need to find 2 points on my graph. So 1 point that I'm going to use, let's use -2, 0. And 1, 2. Okay, so those are the points I decided to use. Now let's figure out the rise over the run. And again, I like to say like I'm following the sidewalk or I'm finding the grid lines that are following the grid lines that are already there. So as I go up, I'm going up 2, where my rise is 2, and the run is 3. This cannot simplify any further, so I'm going to leave it as 2/3. Okay, now let's take a look at number 4. Okay, number 4, you also need a rise over run. And we need 2 points. Let's use the point 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0, -3. Should have said negative when I was describing that point. And positive 1, 2, 3, -2. Okay, we're going to go up and over between those 2 points. I'm going to rise, and I'm going to run. So I'm going to go up 1, and I'm going to run 3. So 1/3 would be my slope. Okay, I'm going to slide over and look at number 5. Okay, so number 5, some of you might be like, but I'm not using the same points as you, or like, how are we getting the same answer? I'm going to demonstrate that with this particular problem. So 2 points that I'm going to use are 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative, nope, 1, 2, 3, -1. So -3, -1, I'm going to use a far out point. Let's use 1, 2, 3, +2. Okay, so I'm going to start off with those 2 particular points. And again, we're still finding the rise over the run. Rise up, run out. We mapping graphs is the triple R sound. I'm talking points, slopes, axes, and origins, y-intercepts, the quadrants, all 4 of them. Okay, anyways, we're going to do the rise over run of these 2 points. And the 2 points that I used was this one and this one. So we're going to rise up, and then we're going to run out. Okay, so my rise between these 2 points was 1, 2, 3. And then the run between these 2 points were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Please notice that 3 over 6 will simplify down to 1/2. Okay, now something that I could have done, I'm going to use a different color to represent that. Okay, if let's say I chose this particular point here, okay, and this point, I could have went up 1 and over 2, which would have given me 1/2. Okay, using another different color, let's use green. Okay, let's say I chose to use this point and this one. I would have went up 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, still reducing down to 1/2. So no matter what 2 points you used, as long as you counted and drew your slope directions correctly, it should all simplify down to the exact same answer. Okay, and one last example is number 6. Okay, so the 2 points that I'm going to use for number 6, let's use 0, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 4. And I need to find my rise over the run. Okay, now again, you could have chose points that were further apart from each other, and I'll show you how that all simplifies down to the exact same thing. So in this case, I'm going to rise up 1, 2, and I ran 1. So 2 over 1. Now this particular slope fraction will simplify down to the whole number 2. So 2 over 1 is also just 2. Okay, so what if I use points again that were further apart? So let's say that I used this particular point and I went all the way up to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1, 2, 3. 6 divided by 3, let me move this out of the way, would also reduce down to the number 2. So as long as you are using points that you can read on a coordinate plane and then also drawing your slope triangle correctly, your slope triangle, or what the fraction that you created, the rise over run, should simplify down to the exact same answer. So hope this video has helped you. Again, we are finding 2 points on our graph to use as slope, and then we are finding the rise over the run. And then you can also need to simplify it all the way down to find your total slope. Okay, so finding 2 points, you are plotting the points on your coordinate plane, doing the rise up, run out on the coordinate plane, and then simplifying your slope down to the simplest form. Best of luck on today's assignment.